I was on the subway late at night, the last train of the day. The carriage was almost empty, just me and an old man sitting at the far end. At every stop, people got off, until finally, it was only the two of us. I noticed he kept staring at me, never blinking, trying to ignore it. I put on my headphones. But when I glanced up, he was suddenly sitting 3 seats closer. I hadn't even heard him move. The next stop was mine. As soon as the doors opened, I rushed out without looking back. When the train pulled away, I turned to see if he was still inside, but the carriage was completely empty.
Late at night, I looked out of my apartment window. Across the street, a man was standing at his own window, staring directly at me. At first, I thought it was just a coincidence, but every night, no matter what time, he was there, always staring. One night, I decided to wave at him. To my horror, he waved back, perfectly in sync with me. The next day, I asked the landlord about that apartment. He said it's been empty for 10 years.
Cleaning my grandmother's attic, I found a box of old photographs. Most were faded family portraits. Until I pulled out one that froze me in place. It was a picture of me, sitting on my bed, smiling at the camera. But the photograph was dated 1985, over 20 years before I was even born. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. But as I kept flipping through the stack, I found more and more pictures. Me, at the park, me, in the kitchen, me, sleeping. The most recent photo had today's date written on the back, and in the photo, I was sitting in the attic, holding a box of old photographs.
I just got fired for the first time in my life at 24. I feel completely lost and need advice. I'm 24 years old and I was just let go from my first real job after 4 months. My heart is sinking. I just got out of a meeting with my manager and someone from HR, and I feel completely numb. Since I only have a few months of experience, how am I supposed to explain this to the next company I interview with? The reason they let me go is that I falsified a delivery confirmation email. I work in a role with very tight deadlines with partners. I sent a report to a partner at night, but I altered the timestamp in the email I forwarded to my manager to make it seem like I had sent it in the morning. I was worried about being penalized for missing the deadline, so I panicked and tried to cover it up. I know it was a huge screw-up. I fully admitted my mistake in the meeting, without making any excuses, and I will never, ever do something like that again. My manager and the HR person were genuinely understanding about why I did it, and they acknowledged it was a foolish mistake by someone new. However, they have a strict policy about these things and had to enforce it for everyone. The good news is they told me that HR will only confirm my employment dates and job title, so they won't give me a bad reference. I was on a 9-month contract and they had told me there was a good chance of it becoming permanent. I had even just passed my probationary period. So, what do I do now? Should I be honest in my interviews? Should I try to beat around the bush? Or should I be vague and just hope they don't ask for details?
My family and I returned home from our vacation and it was late at night. We were unloading the car and in different places in our front yard. I was on our porch and my husband and 2 children were in the process of getting bags from the car in our driveway when our dog started to bark. We all simultaneously looked towards him and then in the direction of his view. We all 4 very clearly saw a shadow figure of what appeared to be an old man in a hat, kinda like a railroad conductor vibe, walking from the front of our yard to the back. Our dog followed but would not go into the dark backyard. We all just looked at each other like WTF and we all agree on the details. I did my own lighting tests to see if we had actually seen a real shadow of someone, but the lighting and the position/location where this took place were not in alignment for that. 4 people. We all saw the same thing.